Hi everyone! Welcome to Learn to Decode English. In this video, we'll go over 20 common idioms you can use to express yourself, understand others, and navigate conversations more smoothly in American English. These idioms are great for discussing conversations and communication. Let's get started. Since we have a big list of 20 idioms today, we'll break them down into smaller groups. The first group is speaking and expressing yourself. The first idiom in this group is to speak your mind. This means to say exactly what you're thinking. For example, you could say, she always speaks her mind, even if it makes other people uncomfortable. Idiom number 2 is to put in your 2 cents. This means to offer your opinion, especially in a discussion. For example, can I put in my 2 cents about this new design? Idiom number 3 is to spill the beans. To spill the beans means to reveal a secret or a surprise. For example, you could say, he accidentally spilled the beans about the surprise party. Our next idiom is to shoot the breeze. This is an informal idiom that means to chat casually with someone, often without a particular topic. For example, you could say, we sat on the porch and shot the breeze for hours. And then we have the idiom to talk a mile a minute. This means to speak very quickly, usually because of excitement or nerves. For example, she was so excited about her vacation that she talked a mile a minute. Now let's move on to the next section. Our next group of idioms is about withholding information and being quiet or silent. Our first idiom in this category is cat got your tongue. We can ask this question when someone is being unusually quiet. It can be used in a playful, caring, or teasing way, depending on the tone, and is usually best kept reserved for informal conversations with friends or family. For example, you could say, you've been quiet all day. Cat got your tongue? Our next idiom is to keep something under wraps. This means to keep something a secret or hidden for the time being. For example, the new product launch is still under wraps. Our next idiom is very similar, and it's also about keeping a secret. This idiom is mum's the word. Mum's the word means that you're being asked to stay quiet or not tell anyone something for now. You can also say mum's the word as confirmation that you have agreed to stay quiet about something or keep a secret. For example, someone might say, mum's the word on the new product until the launch. Or if someone tells you, you can't tell Sarah about the party until the actual day, and you could respond, mum's the word, to show that you agree to keep the secret. Our last idiom in this group is to clam up. To clam up means to suddenly stop talking, often because you're nervous or afraid. For example, you could say, he clammed up and forgot all his lines when he got on stage. Now let's move on to our next category, listening and understanding. The first idiom in this group is to lend an ear. This means to listen carefully or sympathetically to someone else. For example, if you ever need to talk, I'm here to lend an ear. Another useful idiom in this category is to read between the lines. That means to understand the hidden meaning behind what someone says. For example, you could say, he didn't say it directly, but I read between the lines. Our next idiom is to hear something through the grapevine. This means to hear gossip or unofficial news. For example, you could say, I heard through the grapevine that she's quitting next week. And our final idiom in this group is to get the message. This idiom means to finally understand what someone else is trying to say or to convey through actions. It's often used about something negative, but it can also be used in a positive way in rare circumstances. For example, you could say, after 3 missed calls, he finally got the message that she was upset. Now let's move on to our next category. This next group covers idioms about communication mishaps and misunderstandings. Let's start with the idiom to talk at cross purposes. This means that 2 people are misunderstanding each other completely. For example, you could say, we were talking at cross purposes about the deadline. Our next idiom is to get your wires crossed. This idiom means to be confused or to miscommunicate. For example, you could say, I thought we were meeting at 5. Maybe we got our wires crossed. Our next idiom is to go in one ear and out the other. This means that something is quickly forgotten or ignored. For example, everything the teacher says goes in one ear and out the other. The next idiom is to be lost in translation. This means that the original meaning is misunderstood, especially across languages. For example, you could say, his joke was lost in translation when we spoke to the French team. Now let's move on to our final category of idioms: persuasion, gossip, and rumors. The first idiom is to talk someone into or out of something. This means to persuade someone to do or to not do something. For example, you could say, I talked her into applying for the job, or I talked him out of quitting. Next is to put words in someone's mouth. This means to misrepresent or misquote what someone said. For example, you could say, don't put words in my mouth, I never said that. Our next idiom is to talk behind someone's back. This idiom means to say something bad about someone when they're not there. For example, you could say, I really hate it when people talk behind my back. And last but not least is the talk of the town. This idiom describes something that everyone is talking about or someone or something that is very popular. For example, you could say, the new restaurant is the talk of the town. So now that you've learned 20 useful communication idioms, we want to hear from you. How would you use these idioms in real life? Let us know in the comments. If you liked this video or learned something new, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel for more American English language tips. And if you want to keep learning more idioms, check out our full idioms playlist right here. Until next time, always keep learning. Bye!